Today, I'm going to share a story with you to really give you more of a understanding of what something called self-fulfilling prophecy is. What we believe becomes our truth. So whatever your belief system is, that is your truth. And because a belief can be changed and adapted, the more we learn, the more we find out, the more our beliefs change, therefore our truth begins changing, our reality changes. And so because we have control of that, we actually have the power to determine what our reality looks like. So yes, there's always like the exception to the rule, but it's 99.9%, let's just say. The story I'm going to tell you is called the Stallion Story. And I heard this story in my training with Shirzad Chamine, who is the founder of Positive Intelligence and the mental fitness program that I do. And I remember listening to the story and getting so frustrated. Like, all I wanted to do was add my opinion, add my emotion. Like, what is wrong with this guy? Why isn't he reacting? And it's because there's a really beautiful, deeper meaning to the story. So I'm going to try and use my drama background to make it as interesting for you as possible. One day, in a beautiful little village, there was a farmer who was hand rearing the most beautiful stallion. And the stallion was so amazing. Everybody who came into contact with it, everybody who saw it was in absolute awe. So one day he decides to take his stallion to the fair for a competition. And he wins first prize. Nobody is surprised. They all come running to him. All his neighbors come and congratulate him. Oh my gosh, well done, farmer. We knew your stallion was the best. And he said, who knows what is good and what is bad? And the neighbors are like, okay, you're welcome. And they carry on with their life. Then he carries on, he goes home, he takes his stallion, he's got his rosette and his trophy, he puts it away. And of course, a week later, the news starts spreading. And some thieves in a neighboring village find out about the stallion. And they're like, oh my gosh, yes, we're gonna go steal that stallion. It's worth so much money. We're gonna be so rich. So in the middle of the night, off they go and they sneak into the farmer's stable. They steal the stallion quietly and off they go into a neighboring village. And the next day the farmer wakes up and he notices that his stallion has been stolen. The neighbors come rushing to him and they're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. This is so terrible. We cannot believe this happened to you. And the farmer says, who knows what is good and what is bad? And the neighbors are like, what? And off they go on their merry day. But then, of course, a few weeks later, the stallion who loves the farmer, obviously it's been hand-reared, he's been cared for, the stallion is so unhappy where he's been trapped. And he breaks out of this cage that he's been put in and he bolts back home. And on the way home, he crosses a wild herd of beautiful mares and they follow him on his way back to the farmer. And he finds his way home. The farmer wakes up to this chaos, this noise outside, and it's the stallion with a herd of wild mares that have arrived on his farm. The neighbors all come rushing. They're obviously hearing the noise. They want to come see what's happening. We're all inquisitive. And they see, oh my gosh, the stallion has bought this herd of mares. This is amazing. So they're like, wow, farmer, you're so lucky. Can you believe that this happened? And the farmer says, who knows what is good and what is bad? And the neighbors are like, what? They all go home. And of course now, so they've got the stallion is home, the farmer carries on with his work, and his son, who, has broken in all his horses, he starts now training these new mares. They've got this whole new herd, and he starts breaking in the mares. And one day, the one mare gets completely spooked and starts bolting, and the son falls off the mare and breaks his leg. The neighbors are distraught. They come, oh my gosh, they come in bringing the food. They're like, we're so sorry this has happened to you. This is so terrible. Now your son can't break in your mares. How are you going to sell these mares? And the farmer says, who knows what is good and what is bad? And once again, the neighbors, they keep going. They just carry on with their life. And then a week later, the imperial army starts marching into the village. And everybody knows what this means. A war has broken out, and they are now recruiting all the eligible men who can come and be a part of the army. And of course, the farmer's son has broken his leg, so he's not eligible. And the neighbors don't even bother. They don't even bother going to his house. They're like, you know what? We know what he's going to say. Your son didn't have to go to the army. We know you're not lucky. Who knows what is good and what is bad? And that's the end of the story. So the whole, like, again, when I watched this, I was the neighbor. I was reacting. I was like, this is crazy. Oh my gosh, this guy's so lucky. Oh no, he's so unlucky. Oh, he's so lucky. Oh, he's so unlucky. And the point of the story is the farmer, he's in control of how he feels about what is happening to him. And because he's not investing those emotions on every single circumstance that happens, everything that is literally out of his control, he's not putting an emotional investment on these events that are happening. Now, this is not to say that you've got to be like a robot, okay? It's not about having indifference or not caring. It's got nothing to do about not having care. It's about the fact that you are in control of how you determine what you believe is happening. What is your belief? And that is self-fulfilling prophecy. If you believe that, what happens to you externally? If you believe that, oh, I'm so unlucky, you are going to be unlucky. Because what happens in our brains, and I mean, this is my neuro nerd stuff coming out and I can't help it. What happens is, when we make a decision, when we believe something, when it's something that's inside of us and we believe it, our brain kicks into gear and something called our reticular activating system kicks in gear. So we believe something and our brain goes, oh, okay, cool, ka-ching, I'm gonna activate your RAS and now I'm gonna scan the environment. So what it does is you have a belief and the belief becomes your filter that you look through, it becomes your lens. So whatever doesn't fall within that lens, whatever doesn't align with that belief, we actually don't see it. Our brain it shuts it off. It goes, it like scans, it's like beep, 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 beep. Oh no, actually no, that's got nothing to do with what I think and what I believe, carry on. And what it also does is that when it sees something that is aligned with our beliefs, it gets drawn to that. So it does two things. It filters out things that are not aligned and it gets attracted to the things that are aligned. And very often people will talk about manifesting. This is the neuroscience of manifesting. When you believe something, when you have a true belief in it, your brain is going to do the work for you to find it and take you towards it, or to filter out things that don't align with your belief and ignore it. And it's actually about you get to determine what that belief is. So do you see how much power we have? When we say control your emotions, this is what we're talking about. It's not about controlling which emotion you're feeling. No, your emotions are going to get triggered by your brain anyway. So the actual emotion you're going to feel, you're never going to control that. You're not going to control whether you feel fear or anger or happiness or joy. You're not going to control which emotion you're going to feel, but you are going to be able to control which reaction you're going to have from that emotion. That's what controlling your emotions is. If this is something that's interesting for you, you can start by going, what do I believe in and what do I want? That's why we keep saying, if you know coaches or anyone like that, and they say, be clear about what you want. Be clear, not abstract. Don't be like, I want to be happy. That's abstract. What is the concrete thing that you want? You need to be able to explicitly tell me in words, because when you can explicitly tell me in a sentence, your brain, your reticular activating system, your RAS, when you say those words out loud, becomes your belief that that's what you want, and your brain goes, oh, I know what you want. I'm going to start scanning the environment to find it for you. You've got the power. Go and get it.